Hey, how y'all doing? So I am back for yet another review for Claws. I think it comes on TNT. I don't remember the network. I don't know why that was important. Anyway, I am back. I am behind. I know. As I mentioned in the previous video, I've been packing, transitioning out of the military. I've been in Aruba, getting a wonderful tan. You can't really tell because this light is kind of bright, this ring light, but I guess none of that's important. So this is gonna be just like the Black Ink Crew video. It's gonna be one long video. Skip through it. Don't take what you will from it. So it's gonna be episodes 4, 5, and 6 of Claws. So I'm gonna try to make this not a 30-minute video. Okay. So let's get into it. All right. So episode 4, Desna is kind of sad about Roller standing her up because they were supposed to have a date, whatever, whatnot. In the meantime, Melvin and Mac are whooping Roller's ass wherever they have him stashed at. Virginia also runs into EJ and they exchange numbers, which is going to prove to be a problem because Dean is paying Virginia dust. So that leaves room for EJ to swoop in. So Dean better pay attention. All right. So Melba taps into Desna's computer on her desk and shows her that they have Roller. So now she has to rescue Roller. Unfortunately, Polly is blinded by Joe's debonair persona. I don't know. It's very fucking weird. He's a weirdo. I don't know how to explain it. He's weird, but that works well for Polly and all her personalities. So, but Polly tells Joe, like, hey, what do you know about them having Roller? And he says he knows nothing. Of course, we know he knows something. And, him, Mac and Melba having a good time, just kind of leading Polly on and using her as a pawn as they've done everybody else in their vicinity. But she tells him to call her and ask where Roller is. He calls and asks. They tell him he doesn't know, even though, of course, they know where the hell it's at. So Desna so they tell Desna to come alone. She's supposed to come alone. She doesn't come alone, and they're recording her, and they realize that you didn't do what we told you to do. So what happens is they send a package to Desna at the nail shop, right? Well, the package is a toe, not any old toe. It's Roller's toe. So they done chopped down this motherfucking toe to let Desna know we're not playing with your ass. Come along, or the motherfucker gotta die. Shit got real. You hear me? I was outdone. Okay, I am about a few weeks late, so the initial excitement's still there. So I'm gonna break it down. But so Desna finally goes along to find Roller into this log cabin somewhere. She finds him and they give her an ultimatum. Hey, you have to pick Roller, save Roller's life, or give over the casino. Or give over your rights to the casino. Well, it's a no-brainer, but she took a little minute debating because, Roller has tried to kill her. Roller has tried to use her. Roller has cheated on her. Roller has done a lot of things in the past few years. Seasons. I don't know if it's been years, but seasons. But she eventually chooses to save Roller's life, and they still double-cross her, and they tie her and Roller together up in the cabin in the hopes that they will get bitten by the poisonous snake that they have set loose in the cabin to die. Well, the only person that gets bit by the snake is Roller. So they have to break the bed. They break the bed and they're in the woods trying to figure out how to get help and how to get back to civilization. In the meantime, Virginia is trying to pry Dean away from the casino because he is obsessed with mahjong, and Mac has decided that he is a protege. He is a savant of sorts as it comes to mahjong, and he's taken him under his wing. And Mac has this peculiar affinity for Dean all of a sudden, and I can't put my finger on it, but I think I've gotten it figured out by the time we get to a few episodes down. But we'll get there. All right, so Dean isn't having it, and he don't want no parts of it. He don't want no parts of Virginia trying to get him out of the casino. So, so Dean shows up to Mac's house, and he's just over there just kicking it with him like that's his long-lost cousin. Weird. Virginia shows up, takes up BJ's office, and she shows up to him at an open mic night. Or good mood, depending on who you're asking. Bad for Dean, good for Virginia. Seems that Roller didn't die from his snake bite, and Desna admits her undying love for him, and that concludes episode 4. Episode 6. No, episode 5. All right, so in episode 5, Desna is helping Roller to recover from his missing toe and snake bites, and Roller still wants him to be a couple, and they do this weird music video called "You Ain't Moving It With Me" in Salt and Pepper / LL Cool J form, era-esque. It was really weird, and I didn't know where it came from, and I don't think it belongs there, but that's what happened. Yeah, I pointed that out because that was weird. Like, they just had a musical number in the middle of season 3, 4, whatever season. It was weird. Okay, anyway, they're back at the shop and they're trying to act like the casino never happened because, we know Desna signed over her rights in order to save Roller's life. So that scam, that whole shakedown is not on the table anymore. All right, so the girls are telling her that, hey, Roller wants to be with you. He's changed. Maybe you don't want to because you have daddy issues. You need to figure that out. And Roller later in the episode also convinces her that, hey, they're right. You should probably confront your dad or meet him or, at least speak your piece. So, I lost my train of thoughts. So Roller and the girls convince her. We move on to another part of the episode, and we see that Polly and Joe are doing some type of scamming thing. They're stealing some money from the casino somehow way, and they're creating some type of business on the side, which is weird because Polly is getting way too involved with that part of the thing. But it'll fall apart, I'm sure. So we see Desna meeting up with her father, Calvin, at his place of business, and he seems to have no idea who she is. He also seems to be jolted by the fact that she is there at his place of business, and he asks her to leave, so she's kind of upset, and she's distraught that he doesn't want to talk to her right then and there, which definitely pissed me off. But later on in the episode, he comes back to her and kind of apologizes and, lets her know that he'd been dreaded that moment for their entire lives, so he wasn't prepared to talk right then and there. Makes sense. Fair enough. All right, so we also learned that Desna's dad left when they were young because he was a drug addict, and he's had 2 or 3 wives since then, but he's finally gotten himself together. He is an acclaimed architect, and all of that will come into play later on. All right, so we go back to the accountant lady. I can't remember her name, but the accountant lady that got beat up in earlier episodes, and she's blackmailing Polly because she wants in on what Joe and Polly are doing on the side, or she's going to tell Desna and Mac and Melba what those two are doing independently. She ends up pushing Polly down. Polly tells Joe about it, and the accountant tells Polly, like, hey, you don't feel special. Me and Joe were in a relationship as well, and he told me all the same shit he's telling you. So, Polly goes back to Joe and lets her know, hey, were you guys in a relationship? And, he blows it off and he lets her know, like, hey, she's not going to be a problem anymore. And then the accountant lady calls Polly. Polly goes to the lady house. The door's open. Sis is swinging from the rafters, from the door jamb, like dice in a mirror. That's it. So she did. She ain't no more. She ain't no problem to nobody else no more. Which sucks because she had a lot of information on Mac and Melba, which she's now all told to Desna. So, the information's not gone, but sucks for her. Now she did. All right. So, as I said, Desna and Dean's dad, Calvin, they show up. He show up and he apologizes to her and, gives her a better explanation. And Desna also sends him to the casino in order to kind of coax Dean out of there because he's focused and he's under Mac and Melba's thumb. They've gotten into his mind, so he really believes like they're his family. They have his best interests in mind, and they know what's best for him. So Calvin comes there and he's kind of talking about some of the memories from when Dean was a little boy and how he would draw architectural structures and some museum in particular. And Dean is so distracted that he loses the game. He gets upset, and he starts to have an episode of sorts. All right, so So Desna and Calvin go back and try to reattack the Dean situation, and they coax him out of there long enough to get him to visit a art museum that he would sketch as a child that he was, very infatuated with. Just, I guess, long enough to get his mind in someplace other than Mahjong and Mac and Melba. And once that's over, Mac shows up to Calvin and lets him know, hey, like, this is a considerable amount of money in order for you to stay out of Dean's life for good, which we know that's not going to happen. He just came back into his son's life. He's not going anywhere. But I was just hoping that they wouldn't kill Calvin. They didn't kill him, not yet. But I was hoping that they wasn't going to kill him just so Mac can continue with his weird fetish obsession with Dean. It's all weird to me. Anyway, all right, so Clay and Bryce, they schedule a reconciliation for Jen and her mama, and Virginia steps in and helps them seal the deal. So Jen and her mom and Bryce are all friends again, even though her mom sucked off Bryce. Could never be me. Moving on. All right, so Polly tells Joe like what he saw. Yolanda was the accountant. Polly tells Joe what she saw at Yolanda's house, and he kind of plays it off like, hey, she was very depressed, blah, blah, blah. And Polly finally wakes up and realizes like, hey, Joe is really not good for anybody. And once you get in his way, he's going to kill you. So she voiced that to him, and she's done with him. Great. I hope she stays away from him, because she's absolutely right. Once you're an obstacle, you're dead. So yeah, good job, Polly. All right, so we are back at the shop, and we see that Quiet Ann has a pregnancy test in hand. Which pregnancy, Ann, you ask? What? Which Quiet Ann, you ask? The Quiet Ann that is in a relationship with the detective lady that had the one night stand with the French dude at the masquerade party. Yep, she is not the fuck up. Good job, Ann. Good job. Not really. All right, so Dean has decided he wants nothing else to do with Desna, and that Mac and Melba are what's the best for him. Desna is not excited, so she has loaded up her Glock, and she is going to get her baby brother. So that sums up episode 5. So episode 6 should be a little bit more interesting. All right, episode 6. So Desna's trying to get out of the house with her gun to go get her brother back. And, of course, Roller's not letting her do that. And Desna decides, okay, well, let me go to the motel and pack him and Virginia up and bring them back to my house because they're better off here. And Dean walks in and he lets her know, like, I want you out of my life forever. I'm tired of you telling me what to do. Treat me like I'm crazy, blah, blah, blah. So Mac and Melba have succeeded, and Dean is no longer attached to Desna. So he is moving into the casino full time. Not a good idea. So Virginia decides to go to the casino to confront Dean, let him know, like, hey, she's tired of living in this motel. Desna is there to help them, and he ends up breaking up with her. So good job, Dean. Dean said, what is he? I don't know what he has. I don't know if he has Asperger's or I can't be sure of his I think he has autism. I don't remember his particular condition, but I'm going to guess autism. So Dean has autism, but he said, I ain't crazy. So she's making bad decisions right now. We also learned that Calvin ends up losing his job at the construction firm because Mac and Melba slipped him a large amount of cocaine, on which he was addicted to, and he had a really bad episode during his rededication of the art museum that he invited everybody out to. This is Melba's attempt to help Mac get his way to gain further control of Dean and to keep Calvin away. So yeah, very far extremes. But Calvin, ended up losing his job. He said it was fine because he has, a nest egg. He's been an architect for a while, so it wasn't too bad of a blow for him. But he wants Dean and Desna to come with him to his private property in some other state. Desna's not willing to go because she's not willing to leave Dean. So he offers her a way out, but at the expense of leaving Dean behind, because Dean he wants nothing to do with them at this point. So, of course, Desna turns him down and he lets her know, like, hey, I'm always here. Let me know if you ever need anything. But I gotta go, basically. All right, so Virginia and Erica chatting. Jen shows up at the house and she goes off like, hey, you knew who he was. That's against girl code, blah, 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 whoop-de-whoop. She's mad about it. Bryce tells her that's stupid. They make up. Not very important. All right, so Roller and Desna decide that they're going to go shake down the governor with all the information that they know about his private prison scheme and money that he's washing and the kickbacks that he's taking and all this other stuff. And, he's not really paying him any attention and, just reminding them, hey, go out and vote. He's not really considering him a threat at this point. So we'll see how that works out. Melba also wants to use Dean for something that they have planned that relates to the school for Indigenous people and her being able to have a baby. I missed the correlation, but yeah. Desna and Quiet Ann, I'm moving on. I'll come back to that. Desna and Quiet Ann visit the Frenchman who got Quiet Ann pregnant because he's under investigation, so he could give them more information on the governor in order to get the governor to help them take down Mac and Melba. Okay, so they visit him and they basically shake him down with the information under the guise like, hey, if you don't tell us what we want to know, we'll go in there and tell your wife that Quiet Ann is pregnant. So he gives them everything they need to know. And as they're walking away from the house, Desmond's like, yeah, you really got him with that pregnancy threat. Da, 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 da. He really believes you're pregnant. And Quiet Ann lets her know, like, no, bitch, I'm really pregnant. And so, she's excited about the baby that's coming. Quiet Ann isn't sure that her girlfriend is going to be because her girlfriend wanted to have kids, but now she doesn't. So don't know what's going to happen there. All right. So, we go back to the casino and Mac and Melba are doing a performance of sorts. And the performance is very 1800s attire. And I'm confused. I'm just kind of speechless. Melba is giving birth during their performance, and the baby that comes sliding down the slide is Dean. So symbolically, Dean has been birthed into their family. Well, this is important at the end of the review. This is important. So we'll come back to that. So Desna is using her nail clients, because she realized, look, I don't have a way to find out where the money is that the governor is laundering. Well, she realizes, hey, I have lots of nail clients and everybody knows connections. So she uses those clients to figure out where the dirty money is being hidden in. Miss Juicy Baby from Little Women Atlanta, she is the connect that gives, I just thought that was funny that she was on the show. She gives Desna the connection to, give her the last piece of information she needs in order to finally successfully blackmail the governor into helping him. Right. So, Desna is finally able to get the governor on her side. So the governor is with her. So Roller, Desna, the governor, they all go to the casino and they're walking in like, this is my shit now. We know everything. The governor has basically ceased one of the deals for the private prison. He's also on their side, so he's going to help them. And Mac and Melba tell them, there's an entity that is higher than us. It's one of the biggest money laundering companies in the world and one of the most dangerous. We actually work for them. So if they know that you guys have taken over from their portion of the enterprise, we're all going to die. And not only are we going to die, but somebody that's very important to you, Desna, will die as well. Meet our new son. And Dean turns his little chocolate brown stuff around and has on this Carlton sweater and these god-awful shorts. And it seems as if Mac and Melba have adopted Dean. So I guess that symbolic birth was them putting the last piece of plan together in order to attempt to keep Desna at bay. They have adopted Dean. Granted, Dean is about 30 or 40 years old. I don't know the age in TV land, but they have adopted him. So it will be interesting to see what happens there and how Desna is going to come out of this one. But that sums up episode 6, and we'll see what happens. And I think there's about 2 or 3 episodes left in the season, so we'll see what can be sold up in these next few episodes. But I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.